You are incompetent, incapacitated, and the most unreliable human being. Perhaps it is something you learned when you worked as a legal officer for the Oppenheimers. You are here pretending as though you believe in South Africa's case, yet it is a lie. When you prematurely ascended to power in 2018, many people, including the leadership and membership of the EFF, hoped that you will bring some degree of stability. It has now been 3 years since you took office, and we can all say that you have not achieved anything that is worth mentioning. We have successfully displaced the Gupta criminal syndicate, which had a lot of power under President Zuma, but it is now evident that the Guptas have been replaced by a very powerful white capitalist capture of the Ruperts, Oppenheimers, Stephen Koshev, demeanors, and all other white people who played a central role in buying the conference of the ruling party in 2017. We want to state categorically that any leader of our country who owes loyalty to colonial settlers and white state capturers is defining himself as an enemy of the people. We will isolate and ultimately defeat all puppets of the white capitalist establishment. Despite the PR stunts and showmanship you demonstrated during the State of the Nation address on the 11th of February 2021, there is honestly nothing to celebrate under your leadership. The reality is that the conditions of our people are getting worse, and whilst Corona has worsened them, it is still not to blame for your general incompetence. The only thing your administration is competent at is the protection and benefits of white capitalist establishment. This is evidently payback for the fact that white people, even under apartheid, protected and promoted you, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa. Honorable Speaker, you will recall that when young black people were being exiled and killed in the 70s, particularly after June 16 uprising, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa was already serving in the boards of white companies, particularly the Urban Foundation, belonging to the Oppenheimers and the Ruperts. It is no surprise that when he announced the first lockdown, he announced fake commitments of billions of donations from the Ruperts and Oppenheimers, which never reached our people. When he was elected as a president in 2018, the unemployment rate in South Africa was 26.1%. More than 8.8 million people, mainly black youth, willing and ready to work, were unemployed. Today, unemployment rate has increased to 30.1%, and the number of unemployed people has increased to well over 10 million. Under his leadership, more than 2 million people who had jobs when he took office no longer have jobs. This means, Mr. President, that in the same way you claim victories for an increase in jobs, you must also take full responsibility when more than 2 million breadwinners lose their jobs. Despite empty promises at investment summits, the economy under Mr. Ramaphosa is shrinking, and South Africa was already in recession for 3 quarters before the outbreak of coronavirus. The last time South Africa experienced a positive quarterly economic growth was 2019 second quarter. We experienced recession well before the COVID-19 pandemic, and this is made worse by the fact that government's contribution to the GDP continues to decline due to the patently foolish and unscientific reduction of the budget. We warned that despite the misleading talk by the Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition, Ibrahim Patel, South Africa's industrial capacity is not growing. Instead, it continues to shrink as there is no coherent and cogent industrial policy for industrial expansion or localization because of Mr. Ramaphosa's incompetence. You are incompetent.